There are a few names as recognizable in the entertainment business as Roseanne. When not developing projects or running a production company, she continues to entertain viewers each week with her top-rated show, Roseanne, currently in its 9th season. Her personal life has not always been rosy. She's been through it all, from child abuse to drug addiction to divorce, yet she somehow manages to land on top year after year and still keep her own sense of purpose. I am pleased to have her back on this broadcast. Her last appearance was our first broadcast from Los Angeles, January 1993. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
A lot has happened.
Yes, it has.
Since that time.
Yeah. I have years that are like decades sometimes.
I mean, you have really been up, you know, you have been to the mountain and back since I saw you last.
Yeah, I have. I really have.
How are you?
I think I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I hold my breath when I say it, but yeah, I think I'm doing really well. Thank you.
How was that? What brought you to doing well?
Gee, there wasn't anything left else to do. I did all the other.
You said, why not try well, huh?
Yeah, I try to, like, yeah. It's hard to change your life and hard to grasp the patterns that you keep repeating. It's the hardest thing in the world, and I hope I got
How'd
farther
you do
along. God, I had to get really, really down there, you know. I guess like everybody else, you got to go to the wall before you go, I am not going to do this again, you know.
This is not good for me.
No, this is not good for me. Yeah. And so I had to go to a pretty scary place, you know.
What was that? Where was that?
Oh, gee. It was fearing for my life and running for my life. And I did.
Fearing for your life?
Yes, very
Thought
much.
you were going to die?
Yeah, I did.
From what? That you were going to do it to yourself?
Maybe. I gave an interview in Vanity Fair a few years back where I'm like saying all these suicidal things, you know.
And you realized later when reading it you were in fact suicidal? Or?
Oh, yeah. And I was like also wondering how come nobody noticed. And I was saying it in the paper. I mean, I guess you say it wherever you're going to say it. But here's in this big magazine and nobody ever said anything about it.
You know, it's an amazing idea to me that people, I've never known anybody to commit suicide. So I don't know. I can't say that you should have seen something. But always the question arises, even when people when they're successful in killing themselves. Didn't anybody know? Couldn't anybody have done anything? Didn't anybody hear? Because you would think there'd be some kind of crying out.
Well, there was. I did for a long time, but nobody heard it. They didn't want to hear it.
Behavior sometimes is crying out. Just being stupid.
Yeah, well, that was a different kind of thing, because I think I was pretty direct when I'm like, every day I fight the urge to kill myself in Vanity Fair. And nobody's ever go, God, Roseanne, how do you feel? Yeah. Are you okay? Nobody ever asked me any of that. It's kind of weird to look back on it.
But you've been back to that place since I talked to you in '93, or the Vanity Fair piece was...
That was, I think, after. Yeah. It was not long after. It was a really weird year.
And when 94. Did you sort of get it together?
94, about the middle of '94.
This was
started
after.
to.
Yeah. This was when you were still married to Tom or after Tom?
It was like when I left and went to Europe. And being in Europe, where I really never had really been, other than just a few days, was just the most incredible. It was just so incredible. It changed everything about my life, or put me on a different track.
What did it tell you?
I went to go to look at museums and art, and you know, I mean, I had seen it, but not like you see it in Florence, or there's
Venice.
The whole Venice, where there's this whole Florence, especially, where it is, you know, Michelangelo was the architect of the whole city. And all these things that this artist did. I mean, I'm not saying, oh, you know, Michelangelo, but he's inspiring to me. And to see his work and to see, you know, he laid on his back and he tried to give the Pope what the Pope wanted. And then sometimes he'd just run away and hide back in Florence and, you know, could not go back to Rome. Was dragged back there against his will, you know, for all those years. And it was just like the whole struggle to create something. It just was talking to me like nothing had spoken to me before. The city of Florence, and then going all over Italy, Venice too. The history of it and how many artists have the same pain to bring anything forward out of themselves. It all has to come out of you. And then when I was in France and go to the Louvre and actually see the Mona Lisa, that was something that totally, it was so incredible because you know, I never had access to anything like that before I had money. And to see the Mona Lisa with, like, you know, 15 rows of people of all colors, all nations, every type of person, with video cameras standing in front of this picture and videotaping, like as if she were actually going to maybe move or speak. It was just incredible to think about.
I had never seen that either. I was in Florence this summer, and same thing. You'd see people with video cameras in these marvelous, extraordinary cathedrals, and there'd be all kinds of magnificent work on the ceiling, and people running around with video cameras. The same thing, just, you know, and just staring there. And
I totally connected with Mona Lisa because I was like looking at it and thinking how it speaks to everybody on Earth. It's like this marker of the time where it came from and the artist who made it. But then I was having that extra layer of thinking that it was a self-portrait and a joke. And I sort of thought that I saw that and that it was telling me about sometimes your jokes belong to the people of the future and not the people who are here now. Is
all of this good for your comedy or bad for your comedy? This sense of finding a more of a life to live and coming to grips with yourself and all of that? Or some would argue that an unhappy Roseanne is a funny Roseanne.
No, I don't believe I have to suffer anymore to pay for it. I did for a long time. I think a lot of people do, creative people. But you kind of think, well, when you come from, you know, abused, you know, being an abused child, you get this thing in your head. It's actually a double bind, but you get this belief system where you're like, God put me here so that I would suffer, and that's where I got my talent. And it takes a lot of undoing to go, no, I survived. My talent survived in spite of the abuse. Didn't happen because of the abuse. And it's a whole shifting of perception that happens. And I don't think it makes me less funny, but it makes my joke different.
How so?
Just in the way that, you know, everything we do comes out of our own perception, our own stuff. If I think differently about myself, and I think differently about the world, and then I think some stuff isn't funny anymore. And
well, you know,
some stuff is.
We've talked about this before, and to give credit to you, when you took command of your show, it got better and better and better.
Thank you.
You know.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's true.
Well, I guess nobody had ever wanted to do it before. Nobody had, I guess, ever been a performer and a writer.
And it doesn't always happen either. I mean, every time a performer takes command of a program or an enterprise, it doesn't necessarily get better. Sometimes it's an excess of ego which turns it down because...
Well, that's why it was so hard, because they just all assumed that that was what it was about,
right,
that
exactly.
I wanted.
You had some power complex.
Yeah, that I was some power-hungry thing, but I think it's because I was a woman and whatever. You know, I go into all that. But yeah, it was really hard, and I mean, I took myself to the very edge to say I won't be back. But I meant it, and I don't think they knew I meant it until I left. And then they went, gee, you meant it. Because in Hollywood, it's like nobody means what they say, but where I'm from...
It's all a bluff.
Yeah, but where I'm from, in Utah and Denver, you say what you mean. And it's like always a really weird time warp to talk to people here who it's like, blah, 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 it doesn't mean anything. And they don't believe when you tell them the truth.
Are you happiest when you're working?
Yeah. Well, I'm getting my life together in the last little while about being happy in my life.
Yeah, which is also part of sort of experiencing the world outside of
outside of me.
Work,
like trying to not be so into myself or bad things, you know, just to try to live and enjoy.
How is the show doing? Because I read some little item about the most recent whatever original episode. Do you worry about the show?
Sometimes I do, yeah. Sometimes, you mean about the ratings?
Yeah, some rating story that I read in the paper this morning about where the most recent original episode, you know.
Well, they always want to write the negative because, like, you know, the first show of this season, you know, the other show that was against us won, and then I won all the other ones till yesterday. But they don't write about those 10. They just write about that one.
But you're not worried about it. I mean, you feel good about it. You're happy with where the show is and the whole...
Well, you know, I'm in a real creative free space, and I have to remember that for myself. I've been, you know, given the opportunity to be in creative free space, and I'm really not competing with anybody.
But yourself? Or even not yourself?
Not even, well, maybe myself, but I don't know anybody else in television who's been given that, so I have to stay grateful for it and keep going my way, because I can't go on a way that's carved out for people who do that other thing. I mean, they write about my show as if it's like you know, it's kind of a blessing and a curse that they always write about my show as if it's like great political commentary, and I believe it is, but it's weird that they don't. Sometimes I get mad because I'm like, why don't they just say it's a TV show that's been on 9 years?
Well, okay, but how do you want it viewed? Do you want it viewed as commentary that's successful, that appeals to America, and therefore does all these other things, or do you want it simply to be viewed in the abstract? Does this show generate these ratings or not?
Well,
you know,
it's
a product, and we look at this product, and how is it doing? How many?
Yeah. Well, I liked that it, for a long time, did both.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, I'm pretty unmatched on that for 9 years.
You sure are.
So this year I had to decide, well, am I going to do, and I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of my cast members, so it was like, am I going to do by robotic consciousness and by rote, or am I going to really go into free creative space? And I get really scared. I mean, honestly, I get really, really scared. But I still try to go there.
Get really scared that what?
Oh, you know, about all the, you know, I'm working for you know, a big network, and, you know, they question me constantly, and, you know, I don't know, being punished or kicked out or, you know, all that stuff. Silenced. I mean,
after all the money and all the success,
yeah,
and
because
all of that, you still.
Well, they actually did try to silence me, and I just didn't let it work. But I mean, they put. Well, you know, I had a 9 o'clock show. It was an adult show, and then they moved me to 8, which they did to me when the show was just getting its political legs. I feel like, and was really starting to say things, and I feel they put it there because they thought it was the strongest thing to win the night, you know,
to get the night started.
But of course, in order to win the night and stay on, I had to go a different direction with my subject
Because it's a different
matter.
audience, and because you don't know earlier time, you changed the nature of the show.
Yes, it has to be more for children.
Yeah.
And, you know, I already had done like a lot of groundbreaking things, and I was like, I can't go backwards. I mean, I can't like de-evolve into Full House or one of their other.
And what did they say?
They told me that, you know, it was pretty much, I think they said, not in so many words, they said, well, you know, every show has its run, blah, blah, blah. And that made me mad, so I'm like, I'm staying on another 5 years just to show you that I can do it. And I did. It's been 5 years.
Is that right?
4 or 5 years. Because then I hooked into the thing of, well, if they want me to talk to children, I will speak to children. Yeah. And I want to talk to kids about the same subjects that I talk to adults about. Yeah. Just a bit broader is all it comes down to, because I have 5 kids. And I'm like a mother, so I think I can speak to children.
What was the political message of the 9 o'clock show? I mean, it was what?
Well, it was, there was a political, there was a lot of levels to it. Right. It was a class, race, and gender, which, I mean, I'm always
You pretty much covered the waterfront right there.
I'm always there, and I can never, it's not that I choose it, it's just that's how I see everything, and I can't ever see anything different. I wish I could, but.
Class, race, and gender.
Yes, and I like all the places where they intersect. Yeah. And I like to do that subject matter, because I guess that's just what I do.
Do you do any stand-up?
I tried it like about 2 months ago, and I was just miserable. I failed miserably.
You failed?
Yes, I couldn't do it. I think I need to, I just couldn't do it.
Does anything within you, because you want to win so bad at everything you do, say, look, nobody's going to tell me that I can't make them laugh and stand up again.
Well,
and so I'm going to go out there and do it. You know, if I have to get back and get back in training to do that, I'll do it.
Well, I go out on stage and I'm talking about, like, you know, being a woman in the corporate world or whatever. So I thought that would be pretty universal. But they're sitting there and they're 20 years old and they're going, "Where's Dan?" Yeah. I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't stand it. So I'm not going to do it.
You're not going to do it then?
No, I'm not going to. Because I mean, it's just really weird what happened to me of being who I am and playing a character, and then when they really meshed. When the me really meshed with my character, just a lot of things. It's like the deeper I go, the more superficial the press claims it is.
Or the deeper you go in terms of making Roseanne on television, Roseanne in person.
Well, a three-dimensional human being anyway. That isn't a mascot for, you know, that isn't a cartoon or a mascot. The more they call it superficial. And I was like really blown away by that. I mean, in the press, I just get like, now I'm like totally passionate about that. the voice. And the whole technique of the press, I'm just totally fascinated by it now.
How has all this changed you, if at all the money?
Well, for a while it did. I got like really, first I was really scared. I didn't want to spend any money because that's how you get when you haven't had any. You're like, I've got to save everything. Yeah. And then I went through this big lust and greed period where I bought ridiculous crap. I mean, I bought anything I saw, shopped for hours every day. And then, because I guess I thought that was going to make me feel better, but it didn't. So now it's like I'm back to my original self, which is like, it's just money. Yeah. It isn't character or integrity. It's just money. It isn't love, just money. And that's how I felt because I was a working class person raised with those values. Because to me, being working class is more about a culture than it is anything else. And that I came back to my original values is kind of what I wanted to do this season, to have that, say that.
What would you like to change about what you think might be the perception of Roseanne 1996?
Well, if I talked to 50 people, each one of them would say, I probably want to change something about every one of them. I think that, I don't know, there's just a lot of, I don't know.
You're not worried about anything of perceptions, though?
Sometimes I get scared. Yeah, I do worry. I worry if I'll ever...
You're scared of losing it all?
Oh, yeah.
That's it, isn't it?
I'm scared of if I'll ever do anything after this. I'm scared if I'll ever duplicate what I've been allowed, and if I even get the chance again in any other media or this one, although I feel I'm done with TV, but...
You feel you're done with TV?
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
I don't want to like come back in 5 years with, Roseanne 2 or,
So,
I've done it. I don't want to do it again.
I haven't...
So I don't know what I'm going to do.
You don't know where you are, in a sense. I mean, there's a fear that...
Maybe I shot my whole, whatever you call it. I mean, maybe it's over. I think about that, And I'm sad because this is the last year, and I'm like, it's all going to go. I mean, I really feel sad because these people that, I see every day, 9 years, who are like the only people that I've known since I left my home to come here. And it'll be over. I'm scared.
Who do you lean on at a time like this?
Well, I have a great family, just a great family. I have incredible children, and I'm married to a really incredible person. And that, and, have my religion, and,
Could you imagine yourself 5 years ago, or when you saying you were scared? I mean, because people would...
No, I always said I was scared.
So for you to be that vulnerable out front is not new.
No, I think the fact that I was that vulnerable always is why I've been, why I've had to, like, withstand so many attacks, because they only attack vulnerable people.
They being?
Us. All of us,
But who attacks? You mean the press?
Whoever,
you mean network executives? You mean, the people in power?
Everybody. Me too.
Yeah.
I want to criticize somebody that's vulnerable, because they might care, and I might affect something in them. I might have some power then. I certainly don't want to waste my time going after somebody who is strong, because they're not going to listen.
Yeah. I'm not, obviously, this is it for you.
Yeah.
No more Roseanne after this season. It's done. There's no, that game is over.
This whole season is, this whole season I'm pretty proud of it, because I have come up with, I hate to say device, but I have come up with a device to leave the show and to leave each character in a transcendental place. Because I'm not, I'm not Three's Company, Seinfeld, or Cheers. I never was. And when they lump me in with that stuff, it kind of disturbs me. But, for a while, I could see how they did it. But I came here to say something, and I've said it. And when I leave all these characters, they're loved, and people, it's like when you're, it's like, to me, it's a family, an American family, because the way that I'm leaving the characters and the way the characters are growing and the place they're going to end up at the end of this season upsets people. But I have to do it because I never came here to pander. I came here to say something. And people do die, get divorced, you know. I mean, television is just like, I'm totally in love with the medium of television because I feel it's a great art form. It's an art form in itself that hadn't even begun to be explored. But, I mean, it's also like the way it comes out. It's a static, dead, cold, government-approved bunch of crap, you know? And I don't want to be in that, and I never intended to. So people are upset because whatever and whatever and whatever, but it's going to still happen, and I'm still going to do what I came to do. I'm going to do it. This is the only chance I'll ever have to do it. And in a lot of ways, like when I'm thinking about being inspired by Mona Lisa and that being a self-portrait of him smiling and going, you guys will get this in about 500 years. I'm kind of like, yeah, because this kind of the stuff we do, it belongs to people who maybe aren't even here now. I mean, if you're really true to yourself, that sounds like a bunch of crap. God, I'm dull. I'm dull. You know what I mean, though? It belongs to something in me that's of the future, not of the past, and not even of the present. And I want to give it to people in the future because I know they're going to rerun it forever. So the last 2 years, of my show, I have like done for kids in 10 years. And luckily it's, I don't know, it's important, but I think later people see what was really going on.
Let me sum this up then, what I hear you saying. One is that so this comes to an end, and you're fearful about whether this is all you ever had to do this show.
Yeah, but I have to say, too, that if it is, I'm happy.
You're okay.
Yeah.
You know that there's a whole lot of other world out there that you can be satisfied.
I have 5 kids that need driver's licenses.
And you're fearful that this is all you had, but you are ecstatic about the fact that you gave it your best shot, and your best shot was good. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here.
Great to be here.